My name is Tyson. I'm the Small Engine Department Manager here at North 40 Outfitters. Today we're going to look at some of the basic service components and things that a customer can do for themselves to prepare their product for spring without having to bring it into a service center. However, we do have a full line service center that will help you with any of your needs if those arise. We're going to look at a few quick maintenance items that you can do yourself at home on your walk-behind mower. So the first thing that we want to talk about is your air filter, which on a walk-behind mower is very key, or any mower I should say, is very key. Obviously mowers can put up a lot of dust and debris. A lot of that gets sucked across the air filter and collected on the air filter, so you can end up with blockages and a dirty filter relatively quick. I will pretty firmly say on walk-behind mowers or mowers in general that you change your air filter at least once a year. Depending on usage and conditions, you may need to change it twice a season. Once again, this is pretty inexpensive maintenance for the expense of the product that you're purchasing or operating. So don't hesitate on changing an air filter to get the best life out of your product. So go ahead and set that aside. Spark plug on a walk-behind mower, typically they'll be located at the front of the engine. This one is right here. I've already loosened it. And then as our other items that we've talked about, you're looking for the same things on any spark plug: your gap, your electrode gap, the condition of the electrode, like say, is it rounded, eroded, or is there severe carbon buildup in here? Any of those things would be cause to replace this. And the dirtier this gets, the dirtier this gets. So keeping your air filter changed is important, but I also recommend changing your spark plug annually. It's cheap maintenance that can help you out in the long run, so don't hesitate on changing a spark plug either. Now, fuel filters, as we've talked about on a lot of other products, are not as common on walk-behind mowers. There are some engine manufacturers or brands that do have a inline fuel filter, typically over in this region. They're pretty easy to change out. They usually just, the filter's inline, it's a clamp on either side, pair of pliers. You slide the clamps, pull the lines off, and change out the filter. The other key piece of maintenance is an oil change, and I'm going to revert back to the air filter. The dirtier the air filter, the dirtier your oil is going to be, and the more quickly it's going to deteriorate. So you want to be sucking in good clean air, because anything that happens to get past this does get generally caught up in the oil, so degrading the oil. You'll see certain things out there saying that you can run longer with the oil that's in the machine, or even the never change slogan that's out there periodically. My recommendation as far as service goes, you should always change your oil annually. And once again, if it's extremely dirty conditions or very high usage, then you might have to do it twice. But definitely change it annually to make sure you're prolonging the life of your engine. So there's a couple of different options when it comes to changing the oil. So your dipstick is over on this side. I'll see if I can tip this up. It's a little bit harder to see, but your dipstick is right here. So we slide that out. This is how you're going to check the oil, but in a lot of cases, that's also how you're going to drain the oil. So you'll just tip the mower to this side, drain that oil into a pan, and then refill it with fresh oil. Now there are certain models that do have a drain plug on the underside. They can go under, you tip your mower back, get under, release the drain plug, and drain the oil that way. If possible, I do recommend that that oil is a little bit warm. It just drains off better. You get more of that residue out of the engine. It doesn't have to be hot, but just at least warm. Don't want you burning yourself. And then as far as what kind of oil do we go back with, most Honda stuff, Honda has their own brand of oil. That is a 1030. So common oils to be used in air-cooled products, for air-cooled 4-cycle product are going to be a 1030, possibly a 530, or even a SAE 30. That's obviously being the heaviest. If you're running kind of a wider span of temperatures, frequently a 1030 will cover what you need to do. If you're running more cold temperatures, so like a snowblower or something, a lot of times that's going to be a 5W30. So other things that you need to look at on a lawnmower, if it is a self-propel unit, you have a belt. This is a self-propel unit, as you can see from the features up here. There's no real good, quick, easy way to see the belt from the top. So typically you will tip the mower back. Make sure your spark plug is always disconnected anytime that you're working underneath, because you may have to spin the blades. You don't want the mower to start on you for some reason, or that blade to kick around. So you can see your belt under here. You do have to remove some stuff if you were actually going to change it. And I'm not suggesting at this point that you change the belt yourself, but at least get an idea of what it looks like. What you're looking for is any frayed conditions, any chunks of the belt that are missing, or any heavy glazing. So if the belt looks really shiny, that's generally a glazing, which means that belt has probably been overheated some at some point, is starting to deteriorate, and is likely going to be slipping. Belts don't generally have to be changed annually, but you would at least want to check them annually or periodically throughout the season, depending on usage. And typically you may want to bring those into the service center. We'll take care of changing those out for you, as well as checking over the rest of the mower. The other item I want to talk about while we have this tip back is your blades. So Hondas utilize a 2-blade system. Not all mowers do that. This is just Honda's way to get an improved cut. It is a great system, works really well, does a good job. But what we're looking for here is, what is the condition of our blades? Is there anything that looks bent? Now you'll see there is some curvature to the blade, but we want to know, is there anything that's actually bent more than it should be? Is it actually damaged in some way? At the edges of the blade, so right along here, right down in here, what we're looking at with those edges is, are there any major gouges, dings, dents, whatever? If everything appears good, the other final thing that you kind of want to consider on a blade is sharpness. Now, one thing you need to know about lawnmower blades is they do not need to be razor sharp. And actually, a razor sharp blade is not the healthiest option for your grass. So what you want on a lawnmower blade is a nice tapered edge that is going to cut the grass at a nice angle, give it the best health. If you look at this and you notice that this feels like it doesn't have a decent edge on it, like I say, not razor sharp, but a decent edge, and it feels like it's getting more rounded over, then it's probably going to be time for a sharpening. Sharpenings are something I do recommend bringing into the service center. If you get to that point, you can pull off the blades if you want and just bring the blades in, or you can bring the whole unit, whichever you prefer, and we can sharpen those up, because the key when you're sharpening blades is these need to stay balanced. Last thing you want is your blades out of balance, because it's going to put unneeded tension or pressure on your crankshaft and their seals. So we want to make sure that these stay well balanced, and that we're taking off equal amounts of metal from both sides, things like that. Any kind of damage or even excessive wear, where there's quite a bit of metal that's going to have to be taken off to get a good edge back there. Blades are not extremely expensive. Go ahead and change them out. Get yourself a new set of blades. That's going to give you the optimum cut and just less of a headache later on. So I thank you for watching our video today. I hope you learned some valuable product knowledge. If you would have any questions, you can just comment or come into the store and talk to one of our skilled trained sales associates. I'd also ask that you like and subscribe to see more videos like this. And thanks again for taking some time to let us visit with you today.